Well, I think we can all recall a time that we might be singing or repeating some song lyrics and find out that, whoops, that's not what it really says. We heard it a certain way, and then we repeat it, and yet that's not really the way it was written. I know I kind of give away my age sometimes if I use certain illustrations, so sometimes I try to avoid dating myself. But when I was 11 years old, a song came out by a young Bobby Vinton called Blue on Blue. And a nice little song, but one day I was going around the house singing it to myself. My brothers got a very good kick out of it because instead of saying blue on blue, heartache on heartache, blue on blue now that we are through, I was singing who wants you, heartache on heartache, who wants you now that we are through. Yeah, we can sometimes mishear things. When I think of Thanksgiving hymns, there's one that for many years I didn't really understand because I was mishearing it, or perhaps simply misunderstanding it. I actually heard the lyrics very well, but I didn't understand them. I grew up in a different time in America. When I was born in Dayton, Ohio, many years ago, and grew up in downtown Dayton, we had in second grade a teacher who would every day have us recite the 23rd Psalm and the Lord's Prayer. So a little bit different from schools today. And then we also would sing songs, traditional Thanksgiving songs, traditional Christmas songs. There was never an issue back then of whether we ought to or not be celebrating any of those holidays. We did, and there were the traditions connected with them. And one song we always sang in grade school and even up through middle school was we gather together to ask the Lord's blessing. He hastens and chastens his will to make known. The wicked oppressing now cease from distressing. Sing praises to his name. He forgets not his own. Now, I had a hard time understanding that for many years. Saying, sing praises to his name. He forgets not his own. I'm thinking, why would God forget his own name? And why in the world are we to praise him? Because he has this ability not to forget his own name. Sing praises to his name, he forgets not his own. Well, I know my name, God knows his name. Why in the world would he forget his own name? Well, it did take me a while before I realized they're trying to say he forgets not his own children. He forgets not his own people. As we look in John chapter 10, we find a good parallel in that he forgets not his own sheep. I would recommend reading the entire chapter 10 of the Gospel of John. It has some amazing passages about the care of the sheep by the shepherd. And one of the things it says in verse 3 is that for the true shepherd, to him the porter opens, and the sheep hear his voice, and he calls out his own sheep by name and leads them out. And when he leads them out, he goes before them. I said, wow, that is a great lesson. Whereas I was at one time wondering why in the world might God forget his own name, we find here in John chapter 10, verse 3, he does not forget our names. He calls his own sheep by name and leads them out. It's quite comforting to know as we get to know the shepherd of the sheep. As we're able to say, as we've said before, from Psalm 23, when we can say, the Lord is my shepherd, one thing we can be very thankful for, he does not forget our names, and he does not forget to care for his sheep. When he brings them out, he goes before them. And we can trust God to be leading us, guiding us, directing us, and that he will never forget to take care of his own sheep. That's my thought for today. Thanks for listening.